gives OG that team fight function they're kind of looking for through that supernova.
Yeah, I think that
it's just the laning phase. I'm always a little skeptical. Like the Rubik is with telekinesis, it's a fairly good counter to the Phoenix. You just got to be in range for it. But it's that instant grip that you can get out from Aloha Dance that can make it work.
okay, I need to reconnect to this game. I'm receiving uncompressed updates or whatever it is that happens when your Dota just freaks out.
Okay. Poor guy.
I'll get back in there, but I think I agree with you. I think that the Phoenix on its own is not going to get great ultis with that lineup. With the teammates threatening all the things they do, the Omni Slash, the Requiem, the Winter's Curse, it can get great ultis. So the concern is more about the laning stage. We'll see how it does there.
Oh, Moon will try and have as much fun with it as possible. He's here for the Rune Steal at the moment. Puts a very defensive ward, like a very defensive ward around Roshan. So he's able to understand when Empire is going to come down for this. So if OG can secure both runes, like getting Phoenix into the point where he can have both Icarus dive as well as Fire Spirits in the lane, and push himself closer and closer towards these Tranquilists, they don't see him. They're pinging out that he should be there. And Resolution can line up for the tree line shackle, which I think that's exactly what he's doing. And they're just going to let... Yep, there's your dive. And there's your pick. That's that telekinesis counter I was talking about. You're such a great hero against him. And the Phoenix didn't even get the bounty rune. It went to the SF as well as to the Wind Ranger. With First Blood going the way of the Wind Ranger too. What a start for Resolution.
I'm going to restart my Steam because reconnecting to the game didn't help. So I'll just listen to you for now.
You poor guy. Well, that's the dream right there. That's the dream right there for Resolution. The early pickoff over on the Phoenix means he's going to get no levels in the lane. By the time he gets there, Silence can be approaching level 2. There's no blocks on the pull points on the bottom lane. So Empire can just pull through quite freely, but they have an opportunity on the top lane. The Arctic Burn sets up against the Slaughter. The Star Shield block's going to help out with that last attack from Fly. But it shows you the amount of pressure which Slaughter was able to take. Having to early burn off his salve. And Fly just going to keep attacking every time Winter's Curse comes back off cooldown. And No Fear arrives to the lane with the Shadow Wave, so it's going to be difficult for Slaughter, for Juggernaut to try and do what he did again. Like, he's got magic immunity when he goes inside that spin, but the Shadow Wave damage is still physical. And that's going to take a lot off No-Tail if he's not careful. I suppose the other way around is to bring in help, but you got Crit arriving with Enfeeble only. So, that's going to beat into the Dazzle. The Shadow Wave's going to be there. There's no, okay, do they have enough damage? No, they don't. They'll just walk away. The Enfeeble's then thrown over towards the Slaughter. They really needed a Brain Sap or a Nightmare there. But it was an attempt to control up the CS of Resolution. Have you had any luck now reconnecting?
I have just clicked the reconnect button, so I'll be able to tell you in a few seconds if...
Cool.
I mean, I've been able to get into the game several times. It's just like... looks so choppy and like kind of freezy. Hopefully it'll look better this time.
Love dem service, man. Love dem service. Ah, damn. Resolution. Keeps... this doesn't even cripple him. Like, he got such a good start that he's already running this bottle back and forward that he could just use power shots to farm up the wave. It at least buys Miracle that extra comfort zone more than anything else. But Crit has to soak up the experience here in the mid. He needs this level 2. He either needs a nuke or he needs control. He kind of needs both, actually.
Alright, so this time I'm struggling to even get into the game.
Icarus, dive, Moon. Okay. He waited a very long time to do that. Triggers off your salves, throws out the sprites and Silent. Coming almost to the tier 2 tower to try and attack. But almost impossible to lock down a Phoenix unless you do have that jump, that instant grab control, which is what the Rubik is there for. And he understands that Icarus dives on cooldown, so Aloha Dance can really just start to zone out this Phoenix on the bottom lane. Looks like Fly couldn't find that Observer what he was searching for. Still a decent sentry. Like, it would have scouted out if there was any vision hovering around here, and now he will find it. So the pulls can start soon for Fly. And that'll change the lane equilibrium on top, which, funnily enough, is... Okay, so Flow's found experience, and so is No Fear in a way, but they've got 4 CS between them on this offlane Dazzle Slardar combo. Against the safe lane No-Tail, who's gone 18-12. 4 minutes into the game. And the battles are going to continue. Flow's moving over. Crit understands he's in a little bit of trouble. And then Haystone Miracle moves over. This Slardar's not ready to fight. Are you still having troubles?
I've gotten back into the game, but it's still like slideshowing for me. So I'm gonna just try. I might need a few more minutes to try and figure out what's going on.
Give it your best shot, man. Fly. It's still crazy to think. Like, he's been so... Because without the spin, without the pulls, he's got no levels whatsoever. Gets a slow over on the Slardar, zones out the Dazzle, but he's not even level 2 yet on this Winter Wyvern, so he can't give a cold embrace over to the Juggernaut. He doesn't have the damage from the Splinter Blast, which is probably what he was searching for. Considering how close they keep finding these kills, it's just a little bit off. And Crit's moving towards the mid. The Razors are setting up right now for Miracle. So you can just go for the Brain Sap. Now, it is the nighttime cycle, and that's why Crit is just able to walk himself in through Fog of War. Miracle triggers the haste rune. All he needs to do is just hit. Oh, no, Miracle! Shackled to the tree line. No Fear's going to arrive. But Miracle, he'll just run himself away. There was no follow-up power shot. Resolution didn't have the mana for it, even after the one charges. Miracle forces the TP rotation off top. Means Slardar can get more levels, but it also means that No-Tail can get a little bit more over-aggressive! Well, it's not over-aggressive if you get the kill. Walked just far enough to get himself out of range of that Radiant Creep Wave, gets the solo Omni Slash on the Slardar, and because of the movement from Miracle and the Dazzle TPing off the lane, No Fear couldn't help out his core on the off lane. And a solo kill comes the way of the Juggernaut. How do you even stop something like that? You can see it coming as a Slardar, but you probably never really think that the Juggernaut's going to dive that heavily on you. But he can do it at any point. Walking around with that Mango means he's always got that extra mana to play around with. He's got running a bottle as well on this Juggernaut. So it's just a little too easy for him at the moment.
So this happened to me a couple weeks ago when I cast the Durka, and it seems like I'm connecting bad to the server. My line looks okay, but I'm just going to try and reset it quickly. Sorry, I have to ditch you for a few more minutes.
No, not a problem, Scan. I have solo cast previously. I can hold my own. Okay, so let's check out our lanes while we're here in the pause. You look to the offlane of Empire, where the Slardar's managed to find levels, but 1 death, as well as no farm. Not the greatest in the world. Up against the Phoenix, who, yeah, he gave away first blood, but Moon's also managed to find 5 levels, which means this Supernova's going to come online at a decent rate. And once he gets himself another 100 gold, he's going to have Tranquil Boots up and running, and then he can just sit close towards the lane. You then have to look towards the other angle. When does Silent as well as the Juggernaut come online? Silent, obviously, a lot of early game aggression he can get from his Rocket Barrage. Not going to be as useful up against the Phoenix because he needs to have that control from the Rubik. So he's fairly reliant on that. But right now it looks like the Juggernaut's going to do a lot more work a lot earlier on. So they need to shut down OG's cause. If you can't catch up the Juggernaut, which you probably can't. Okay, he just got scouted. And that ping from Fly was perfectly on the mark for the Rubik moving up. Now he's going to realize there's no... Well, actually there's 2 stacks. Now block it with an Obs Ward. But Miracle's already got his flash farm. He's up to 40 CS. They throw down 1 Sentry Ward, feeling that something is awry. And the SF, like, he can't stack at the moment. Looks like top lane, No Fear. Oh, he's going to burn out. Like, all they got to do is throw another sprite on him, and he should tick out inside the base, which is exactly what happens. Flow moves himself forward. They've already committed Icarus dive, the healing ward. Going to give the extra life here to the Phoenix, but then the shackle and focus fire from Resolution. Good rotation up. Ends up being a 1-for-1 trade-off then. But you drag 2 cores up to the top lane, and then Instantly the movement, he can't reach him. 10 life for the Slaughter, able to sprint himself away just out of range of the Juggernaut. That was a level 4 Blade Fury, just doing as much damage as he could. But Juggernaut, if he had these phase boots a fraction of a second earlier, he would have ended up getting that kill on the Slaughter. And that would have been huge momentum being taken away from the Slaughter, which is so important for him, as well as going the way of the Juggernaut. I think SF has now realized that camp's been blocked up. So Miracle has to go farm elsewhere. This wasn't really part of the plan. Fly now has to expend an extra 200 gold. Well, looks like we're going to try and bring Scant back in again now.
Alright, can you hear me?
Yeah! What's up? How you doing? How you doing? Is it getting any better for you? I'll take that as a maybe. Crit. No telekinesis grab. Resolution. He's actually going to steal the regeneration rune. Crit. Still got that Nightmare to play around with. As the pickup is going to throw him back into the Rocket Barrage. So
the game is totally fine now, but I can't hear you properly on Skype. Can you try calling me back?
Yeah, I could do that. Looks like there is actually a bit of a weird thing. He couldn't hear me at all just then, according to this. Alright, let's try this,
Hello?
man. Hi. Hi.
Top tower is under attack.
So the freaking internet. Quality. Let's try it again. Eventually his systems will work. Alright, so 75 CS in for the SF. He's not staying, he's only just barely ahead of the Gyrocopter. And the Tsar's not even farming up any stacks, he's just doing his, normal lane CSing. How you doing this time, Scant? Alright, I'm gonna take that as a... yeah, that doesn't work. Oh, Nova, bottom lane, crit. Gonna get that Nightmare off. Minsan's gonna get a little bit more burn as they move back out. With a dive from... no sprites being triggered. Oh, yeah, there it is. The sprites are up. Rubik, they're trying to dive in so deep. And that Rubik burns so low. With both the Winter Wyvern, the Commanding Fire and Icy are OG. To ensure these supports just can't stand on the lane. And that's all 5 heroes underneath the Dire Observer Ward for Team Empire. So OG knows exactly what's going on. And they don't need to fight. They're going to back up, in fact, to make sure they can get Fly up to level 6. You get the Winter's Curse available, and then maybe they're fine with attacking a little bit harder. No-Tell's going to go again. 10 stick charges would have allowed him to go for that Omni Slash, which would have got a solo kill over on Silent. But it ends up just failing anyway. So mech build early up from Miracle. No surprise there whatsoever. Doesn't only has the buckler so far, but with having a Ring of Aquila as well as the treads, he's still on a really good timing. And there's nothing really that Slaughter can do. In fact, Slaughter can really enjoy this moment, because he's able to get himself up in the levels and maybe a little bit of farm as well, which is a good advantage for him. Fly just needs to get that level 6. Once he's got that, getting kills for him is fairly easy, because there's so many heroes he can just combo with. Also interested to see the build that comes out from this Juggernaut. No-Tell hasn't made up his mind yet. 1,500 gold. What's he going to buy? Calling Blade and TP for now. But he could go for the early fighting builds. Look for the Ring of Aquila, look for the drums kind of style. The two most popular early item builds. Early items to build. The full mech recipe done for the SF. It's now only 200 and a bit gold away from having that full mech done. Looks like Chris going to get himself in a little bit of trouble. Almost able to get the kill on Aloha Dance. Miracle was coming down to help him, but it's already a little bit too late. Empire get themselves another pickoff. And they're now starting to 5-man move across the map. And really, like, Hotel doesn't want to be involved in this at all. He's just backing himself out every time. Maybe now we can force out the bottom lane, pop that healing ward, keep his creep wave alive, and just push into the tower. Because there's no one else moving down for Team Empire.
Hey.
Hi.
I think.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Everything's fixed thanks to Knoxville. So shout out to him.
Fantastic. Thanks, Nox.
Looks like I'm just in time to see Miracle get ganked.
Yeah, just about time. But you do still have Moon with a Nova sitting behind him, as well as Bane, who's got this Nightmare Interruption, and almost level 6. So he's almost got the Fiend's Grip up.
So, summary of the lane stage for me. Who's been doing what?
As in, you want me to give you a summary of the
No,
lane
yeah,
stage?
I'm asking you, yeah.
I was just like, wow, you've been actually keeping up with the game while you're trying to fix all your internet problems? That's impressive, bro. Good thing we have ourselves a pause to talk about it. So the laning phase basically is the fact that Miracle was never really ganked, controlled. So he's got himself free CS. There was a small little contest for inside the jungle to stop the stacks, but most of the stacks had already been done. Miracle already farmed up, so this is a very on-time kind of mech for him. Silent didn't really have any kind of aggression going against him. He actually got really aggressive, diving in almost to the tier 2 tower to try and zone out Moon. So that was kind of what it was. Juggernaut got a solo kill on the Slaughter very early on with an Omni Slash pickup. Speaking of that now, well, how's he going to live through this one? Not at all. Dies instantly. They have to go into the Nova in combination with a Curse. Silent the Splinter Blast. The stun should be able to connect that range. No, he's just far enough out. And with the Shadow Wave kicking in, No Fear is able to give the life back again, but Resolution controlled. Fiend's Grip stolen. The Rubik dies almost instantly after us. A Miracle. Let's rip on the Requiem of Souls. Resolution going to get raised down, and they got the Nightmare on the Slaughter. The too quick race take away almost all of his life. One more attack will do the work, and they just need to see him in the tree line. Miracle's moving down. I think he tried to attack move there for a moment, almost attacked into the tower, and now a double crush. It's going to still be actually the creep that gets the kill there. There's 4 heroes lost for Team Empire in the bottom lane. I think the rest of the summary of the lanes was the fact that Slaughter got Jack all farm. He got killed off pretty hard. The Wind Ranger got an early bottle, so she got farmed with Power Shot. And this early rotating Bane did kind of a little bit of annoyance more than anything else with an early and feeble point. But that's all.
Yeah. And we spoke before I started having issues about how Phoenix's lane could be difficult, but looks like despite the fact that he got a couple of deaths, he still got what Phoenix needs from the offlane, a lot of levels, and able to, you know, start having that impact in fights, just like we saw in that last fight.
Well, they couldn't control him, because you still have to rely on a low hard dance to get the grip. Without that, there's kind of nothing against him, and now, well, Moon, he's found a new target. It's going to be the Dazzle. He did this once before, nice shackle over on Fly, the Nightmare actually going to cancel a large portion of the damage until, yeah, they take it off him. And with the Shadow Wave damage and the Power Shot from Resolution, able to reach the retreating support. That's both the supports from OG dropping.
I think OG had very little business being there. I guess they just didn't expect a whole lot of Empire heroes to appear. But Fly's Winter Wyvern had no mana after he used his Arctic Burn, so even though his ulti wasn't ready, he wouldn't have been able to use any other spells. It just feels like they were far behind enemy lines and thinking it's safe because they might run into one hero and pick them off, but instead they ran into lots of heroes and get picked off.
Solo kill time? I think that's what No-Tail's hoping for. Do you like as well this Greedier style build, going for the Helm of the Dominator over on the Juggernaut?
It's very interesting. I don't know actually. I don't know that I've seen this at all before, and maybe I've just not been paying attention, but definitely I think that the Mask of Madness build has proven to be just like not appropriate anymore the way the game's being played, and his whole team is smoking up behind him. Well,
they want to ensure the towers. Moon's a very juicy target to attack, but now as Moon walks across the lane, they realize, okay, it's daytime, they see all. Smoke's going to break on Fire. Smoke is also going to, actually, it's going to time out on Crit. The illusions from Resolution were trying to do the scout. They didn't really find anything, but they do still see No Fear. And Crit won't get himself in range for this, so they just let the mid-tier 1 tower go.
Yeah, and I talked last game about how there's so many different ways to build your SF at the moment, but Miracle is going for pretty much the exact same.
Oh, here they come. The call down. The shackle doesn't latch. How's it not latch? It's Wind Ranger. She's broken. Now they jump forward. Phoenix potentially could go into the Nova, but they're all a little bit too far away, so it keeps going down for these Spirits. The Fadeball damage actually doing some decent work when you combine it up with a power shot. The Slaughter still ended up ticking out. That's those sprites going to work. Crit being picked up and thrown back. It was the Observe Ward on the hillside for OG. They'll let them know what they can get away with. But they've got Weave as well as Amplification on them. The Weave's about to wear off when they start for Roshan while the Slaughter is down.
Miracle was not there. I mean, the reason I missed the start of the fight talking about Miracle is because I was watching him, and OG just take a clash 4v5, come out of it with a kill, and the strongest hero is the one who's not there. I think that's a worrying sign for Team Empire.
Be a more worrying sign the fact you got an Immortal SF who's about to finish up a full S&Y, and we're only 17 minutes into the game. Like, his net worth's over 9,000 right now. You got to find a way to quell this SF.
The thing you are correct about is the shackle shots. I mean, whether or not you land that shackle shot makes a huge difference. Also, resolution extremely close to his Aghanim Scepter, which once he hits that, then it's even bigger deal. When you hit those shackle shots, you make kills. Simple as that.
I still can't believe it didn't latch. Like, the amount of BS shackles I have seen over the course of the last, well, lifetime, actually, because it's always been BS. But he shackled a hero that was here, and it didn't latch the tree that was behind him, or the hero that was out here, or so it's like, okay, what is going on here? That's just, did they patch Wind Ranger while I wasn't looking?
It's like that one secret angle that doesn't work to balance all the overpowered ones that do work.
well, I think the Empire may have just had a little bit of a problem in their exhaust port. Never really predicted that one coming.
But yeah, I mean, I want to go back to this Helm of Dom jug build just because I find it interesting that, I mean, you want to be able to farm the jungle, and so you need some kind of lifesteal. And I don't really like the Vlads in him. I feel like it's too much money for too much of like a utility rather than a carry item. So I guess Helm of Dom is kind of the natural way to go if you're not going to go Mask of Madness or Vlads, but you do want lifesteal. You could leave it a Mask of Death, or Morbid Mask, whatever they call it these days, but Helm of Dom does give you that extra value. It does make you tanky, it does give you damage, can dominate creeps, and he's actually, speaking of this Juggernaut, he's in big trouble.
Well, Omni Slash might get him out of this one. Rubik is so low, but the shackle from Resolution this time it will latch, and that saved the life there of the Rubik. Meanwhile, stacking creeps might be having a little bit more trouble.
Yeah, and we see, if you look at No-Tail, what he bought as he was dying, he's going towards that Battle Fury. So it's just like a complete carry build, like scaling carry. After Battle Fury, you'll probably buy a lot of stat items, maybe a BKB.
I like how he approaches this too. The shackle from Resolution is going to latch, but he used the Helm of the Dominator to get Noga Frostmage, which wasn't with him. It's with the rest of the team. So he's trying to offset the weave that's coming out from Team Empire.
Yeah, I spoke in the draft about how Sven might help with that, but certainly just dominating a Frost Ogre, an Ogre Frost Mage, sorry, couldn't do that. And
again, Resolution.
Spin.
He had to deny the bounty rune, couldn't get out there to pick it up and get back out to safety in time. OG are really just starting to camp up on top of this Radiant Ancient stack. I say stack, it's not even a stack because they keep farming it.
Yeah, and the thing is, in the previous game I felt like, you know, there's a stage where OG are dominating by playing methodically, and then I said they made a mistake of making the game about team fights and that favored Empire. In this game, even though Empire is a team that likes to fight, I think OG have an exceptional fighting lineup, so it's not like if they start taking those fights they're just going to lose them. If anything, I think they're favored in those fights, definitely right now at the Aegis, but just in general with the Wyvern ulti, Phoenix ulti, 2 heroes for that DPS, that extra amount of control. They last draft couldn't take those fights. This game, I struggle to see Empire, you know, playing Empire Dota and coming back into the game. So right now they're not playing Empire Dota, they're actually split pushing.
I think they're also hoping too that, well, I don't know if OG will be done in time, but someone from OG would come up and defend that top. Because they got the critical new item up. It's the Blink Dagger over on the Slaughter. At the same time, we get a Blink Dagger onto the SF. 12,000 net worth, 21 minutes in. But that Blink Daggering Slaughter can do so much work. But they really want to have it like a good first reveal. So they keep Resolution pushing up the top lane, but it looks like Bait And OG, what do you do when you got bait? You spring the trap. You come up with more force than Empire can deal with and just spring the trap. Now their smoke's gonna break, so they gotta know the resolution. Yeah, with that power shot, it's a line just being drawn directly to him. They curse him up, and this is very reminiscent of what happened to him when he was leaner in the last game. It's just easy control, and Empire, they just can't defend that. OG will commit anything they've got to ensure these cores from Empire stay down.
Yeah, and it's honestly, it's much more threatening than the previous game, because here, Fly can throw the curse, and it's not like this is everything for our ability to fight. It's not like if the whole of Empire's there, we waste the curse, we lose the fight, because there's all that extra amount of control from the Bane and the Phoenix on OG's side. So they can be as loose as they want with the curse, going for pickoffs, and they're totally fine to take fights anyway.
And after they take a fight like that, they can just go back to their farming. Just keep the money rolling in. This Phoenix running hand of Midas now going in for the plate mail. Shiva's Guard's going to make a life very difficult here for Team Empire. And I'm wondering too if Silent is going to be the man that everyone needs him to be in this game. Like, we've seen the work with the cooldown so far, but I haven't really felt his damage during the fights.
He's certainly got no lack of experience on Gyrocopter.
Oh, here they come. Fly. No curse available. They're waiting for this one. The blink crush. They missed the timing. Juggernaut, he's hiding in the tree line. So they're farming up the Ancients. The Weave is going to give him a little bit of defensive nature here. But Miracle moving himself forward. He wants to go for the Requiem Assaults, but they've already lost the Juggernaut. So Miracle has to let that ulti rip. They're going to bring down the Supernova if they're not careful. In fact, he just focuses over on the Rubik. The Nova doesn't get off in time. The Gyrocopter with his BKB goes to work. Fly gets shackled and brought down. And that is a fight which OG was probably never going to win. And it ends up being a 4-for-1 trade-off, with the SF being the only one to find that kill, killing off the Rubik.
Can I just say Aloha Dance? Like, the way that fight starts, No-Tail dies before basically as the fight's breaking out, doing nothing. He had just gotten his Battle Fury, he wanted to charge in an Omni Slash. There's no vision showing him in advance, and as he runs in, Aloha Dance immediately telekinesis him, and then he's just burst down. But that's, I mean, the difference between that and if Aloha Dance was a bit slower to react, and No-Tail runs in, Omni Slashes, it's a completely different fight. So I just think the quick reaction there from the Rubik is, like, cannot be understated.
We're getting ourselves, like, almost a man of the series coming the way of Aloha after his performance in game number 1. Silent's going to be controlled for a little bit. That Nightmare, he's just going to wait it out. The fortification's also there. The upside here for OG is the fact they do have that Omni Slash because it wasn't used during the last fight, as well as the curse. Like, that were the two critical things. That's why I'm really surprised OG went in for it. Like, it might have been, it's like, oh crap, we're going to save No-Tail, but you didn't have curse up and running. Without that, you don't have the control on Empire to ensure that you get your ulti off as the Nova. So you'll be
sometimes
you'll be losing your Phoenix in the jump forward. The Blade Fury stolen by Rubik. But
he's got his own Blink Dagger.
Yeah, this is almost a nightmare now for the Phoenix, because Rubik can sit out of range of the Nova and just grab the ulti. Or when Fly goes for that initial curse, there has to be a follow-up. Speaking of that, Miracle, there, Shackle's going to kick forward into the Nova, the Omni Slash as well. Where's the damage? Crit, keeping the Phoenix grip up. Silent can't do any damage here. This is going to be a Silent for a Phoenix trade-off. Miracle has to back out of here. The Shackle will not be able to latch onto anything. The Juggernaut will give a healing ward, but it's still a 2-for-1 trade-off. And that Weave was almost at maximum the entire time, so there was no physical damage that could come out from OG that would do any level of damage, even with the Fiend's Grip. And with the blink forward, they catch out the Juggernaut. Just go to town right now. They can cold embrace him up. But what is Rubik going to go into? Like, he can just start Blade Fury as well and staying on the front lines. The Rocket Barrage and Flat Cannon, Silent doing the work. Miracle getting body blocked up by Aloha Dance. The blink forward Blade Fury. They could do nothing about it. No G, they're losing heroes left, right, and center. And that's now 2 team fights in a row that they've lost with towers to boot.
Must be very confusing to be a Juggernaut that's spinning while being cold embraced. Just looks kind of strange, don't you think? It's like spinning around.
It's definitely not natural. The embrace cannot hold the Juggernaut. He doesn't like hugs.
But yeah, as you said, I mean, Empire looking good, like really good, and I think weirdly in a more substantial way than last game, even though it's such a strange thing that OG are better kitted out to take these fights.
The Nightmare on Silent. Rubik, what a play from Aloha. He blinks forward with the Blade Fury just to ensure that he can take the Nightmare off and they can move themselves back without having to run the risk of losing Silent.
Silent's gone for a Manta style. Not the SNY that we usually see on Gyrocopter. But, I mean, when it's Silent and he's playing Gyro, he buys an item, you ask why was it the right item. It's not why did he want to buy it, it's why was this... let's figure out why Manta style is the best item here.
Well, the first thing would be you can soak up the Omni Slashes with it. Beyond that, there's not really many other advantages out there. Crit, boom! He's dead.
Yeah, soaking up Omni Slash, I guess. Just an extra target because there's single target with the Bane Elemental that doesn't deal well with extra targets. I guess those are the kinds of things we'd look towards, and Slaughter is sprinting into enemy ground and they see fly.
Yep, they actually get the crush at him while he's up the hill, keeping the bashes going. The Weaver's also going to start to arrive, so there's no way OG weren't going to turn around on this one anyway. They don't have their Bane, they don't have their Wyvern, and this game is so different to game 1 because they don't have that plan B. They don't have that big split pusher. Juggernaut's forcing out the lane, but they doesn't keep the momentum while he comes back. Like, you know, the Spiderlings doing their work. So Silent instantly tries to capitalize on the situation and pushes in to that tier 3 tower. They get the pick up on crit. Man, give this guy a medal. Aloha has just been so amazing this game. So amazing as this Rubik.
Yeah, and this is wow, following the script of where OG loses, by the way, where they win game 1, lose game 2, and suddenly they're in trouble. I did say the last team to defeat them was Empire in that style.
Well, we'll see if they could do it. Right now, the Sunray burning forward. They have to go into the Nova stance on the front line. Where's your damage? The call is good, but the ulti, the Nova, it doesn't finish. It can't connect. The Razor's damage is not going to be enough. Not while the cooldown's down. And Silent going to town. I think OG might have just lost this game with a double crush from Flow. In fact, they call it. It's GG. There's too many fights in a row being lost, and there's just nothing that OG has that can repel the Empire.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what OG do after winning game 1 and losing game 2, because the last time that happened to them was against Empire on the 22nd of October, and that's the last time they actually lost the series.
Well, could they be knocked down into the 3rd place matchup up against Golden Boys? If Team Empire can get themselves a date with Team Liquid, we're about to find out, guys. Stay tuned. We're going to have ourselves a short break, and we're back here for game number 3.